This is a story of a community on a journey of faith. It is a tale of a people who learn to contain their newfound faith in a crucible of culture, while traversing 4 continents in as many generations. Hailing from the remote towns and villages of Western India, they left their ancestral homes and traveled on bullock carts, eventually embarking on a sea-bound voyage across the Indian Ocean to an unexplored continent. Some left their homes in search of better pastures, while others sought to find a safe haven from religious strife and persecution in the wake of their recent conversion to a newfound faith. They are known as the Khojas, who originally hail from the land of Sindh, now part of Pakistan, as well as from Kutch and Kathiawar, part of the modern-day state of Gujarat, India. Like many other Indians from Western Indian state of Gujarat, the Khojas now form part of the enterprising transnational community dotted all around the globe. On this journey of faith, the first challenge that confronted these Khoja pioneers was to cross the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean, often at the mercy of the northeast monsoons, in small sailing vessels, commonly known as dhows in English. Their second challenge was to establish themselves in a land practically unknown to most of the world. Today, the flourishing Khoja community around the globe is a testimony to the tenacity and resilience of those early Khoja pioneers. They have given rise to an enterprising progeny, which continues to make its mark around the world.
As I walk on the beach here in Mandvi, the port in Kutch from where many a hopeful Khoja pioneer sailed to seek new opportunities in a new land, I could not help but reflect upon the tenacity of our forefathers braving monsoons on the Indian Ocean in single-sail dhows. What motivated them to leave their ancestral lands and undertake this journey? How did these folks with a Hindu heritage convert to what they are today? Ithnashri Khoja, Sunni Khoja, and Ismaili Khoja. What led to this division within the Khoja community? Where does the community go from here? Is there a possibility of breaking out of the silos the 3 Khoja communities have been living in for the past 150 or so years? I hope that this documentary will help you find answers to some of these questions.
Our story began some 650 years ago upon the arrival of a mystic by the name of Sadr Din in the region of Sindh, located between the current borders of Pakistan and India. Myths abound regarding his origins and mission. The most common consensus among historians is that Sadr Din was a Dai, or missionary, of the Shia Ismaili sect, and originally came from Egypt. Other historians have instead suggested that he was a Sufi, a mystic from Persia. Here Sadr Din settled in Sindh, where he lived among the rich Hindu landowners of the Indian Lohana caste. The Lohanas are known to have descended from the mythic Indian king, Rama's son, by the name of Love. They were known as Thakurs, a phonetic corruption of the Indian title Thakur, meaning Lord or Master. Thakurs believed that the Hindu god Lord Vishnu had lived through 9 incarnations on this earth, and that they were waiting for the 10th. Sadr Din successfully convinced them that he brought with him the good tidings of the coming of the 10th incarnation of Lord Vishnu they were waiting for, and his name was Ali. This is believed to be a reference to the cousin and successor of Prophet Muhammad. This was his ingenious, and some may say disingenuous, way of converting a number of Lohana Thakurs to a new faith called Satpanth, meaning true path. Satpanth is a peculiar mystical admixture of Sufic Hindu beliefs. the essence of Sadruddin's teachings, were preserved in a book called Das Autar, which, until recently, was considered a primary text for the Khoja Ismaili followers of the Aga Khan. The new faith of Satpanth needed a new identity. Pir Sadruddin obliged and bestowed upon these converts a new title. They were no longer to call themselves Dakars. Instead, they would now be addressed with the honorific title of Khwaja, a Persian word close to the meaning of the word Takar. This name, Khwaja, eventually became Khoja, a phonetic corruption of the original title. Some historians contend that the name Khoja was derived from the Hindi word khoj, which means to dig out or search, perhaps suggesting that a Khoja is one who is engrossed in the search of truth in religion. In addition to the writings in Das Autar, many of Sadruddin's teachings also survive through ginans, or hymns, which have for long been a central part of the religious practices of the Khoja Ismaili community. The term ginan is believed to be derived from the Sanskrit word gnan, meaning knowledge or gnosis.
The reverence with which the Khojas held their peers, as narrated in this Ginan, is also illustrated by the magnificent shrines dotted around Sindh, Kutch and Kathiawar, such as the one here in Kera. From the 15th to the 19th century, many peers followed Sadruddin, such as Pir Ghulam Ali Shah of Kera and Pir Dadu of Bhuj, who brought the Satpanthi Khojas closer to the Islamic faith. Since we are talking of the evolution of the Khojas hundreds of years ago, I needed to trace the steps of our Satpanthi Khoja ancestors. So my next port of call is here in Mumbai. Major events occurred here in the mid-1800s, eventually leading to the development of the three distinct Khoja communities as we know them today. This is the famous area of Dongri here, a bustling part of Mumbai. One could call this the epicenter of the Khoja Shia Ismaili community. I'm here standing right at the entrance of the Hazrat Abbas Street, and this leads into the various institutions of our community. In those days, the Palagali Dongri areas were known as leading trade centers of the growing Mumbai metropolis. This bustling area had one of the largest concentrations of Khojas outside Kutch and Kathiawar, and hence it was rightfully known as the Khoja Mohalla. There is so much Khoja history all over Dongri. Interestingly enough, there is a monument in the city that pays homage to Imam Hussain, the grandson of the Prophet. He was martyred in Karbala for standing up to the tyrant ruler of the time by the name of Yazid. I had to stop for a brief second so I could take account of what the sign read. When walking around the Dongri area, I found three historic monuments located within walking distance of each other: the Khoja Ismailiya Jamaat Khana, the Khoja Sunni Masjid, and the Khoja Shia Masri Masjid. They look strikingly similar with the early 20th century Indo-Muslim architecture.
These three distinct places of worship allude to the early strife within the Khoja community when it splintered into three fragments. Today, the overall number of the Khojas is very small, considering that there are over 200 million Shia Muslims in the world today. Of those, there are some 400,000 Ismaili Khojas and 150,000 Ithna Ashari Khoja, and there are less than 10,000 Sunni Khoja. It all started with the arrival in Mumbai of the Aga Khan Hassan Ali Shah, the 46th Imam of the Ismailis. Also known as Hassan Ali Shah Mahalati, he was the son-in-law of the Persian king Fatah Ali Shah and the governor of Kirman province in Persia. Internal power struggles and political intrigue between Britain and the Persian king resulted in the relocation of the Aga Khan in Mumbai, facilitated by the British. Passing via Sindh, Kutch, and Kathiawar, this Persian nobleman eventually settled in Mumbai in 1848. His presence had cataclysmic impact on the Khoja community in Mumbai, sending ripples to parts of Kutch and Kathiawar in India and as far as East Africa. At the time, the Khoja community had remnants of the Sadpanthi beliefs, Shia rituals, and Sunni practices. When the Aga Khan attempted to streamline practices and control the assets of the community, he faced dissension from some wealthy quarters. To reinforce his authority, he asked the Khojas to sign a written pledge requiring them to formally accept Ismaili doctrine. Most complied, but a group of Khojas resisted, claiming that Khojas had always been Sunni. After a decade of debates and dissension, a group of wealthy Khojas, led by merchant Prince Habib Ibrahim, filed a suit in the Mumbai High Court in 1866 against Aga Khan. This case, famously known as the Aga Khan case, was heard by Sir Joseph Arnold. In his 1866 judgment, Judge Arnold ruled that the Khoja community is a sect of people whose ancestors were Hindu in origin, which was converted to, and has throughout abided in, the faith of the Shia Imami Ismailis, which has always been